What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the What the Fun show. Today we are continuing our Harry Potter series, talking about the Chamber of Secrets. With me today are the usual co-hosts. We got Joe and Justin. Joe, how's it going?
Very good.
Cool. Justin?
Enemy of the beware. You're in for a scare. I was trying to move like Goosebumps in there too, but
Goosebumps?
Booga, booga, booga.
That's
The duck is here.
All right. Well, good to see you guys. You guys ready to talk about the second Harry Potter movie?
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, listeners, a little bit of housekeeping for you. If you are on YouTube right now watching us, hi, please subscribe, hit the like button, and then comment down below what you think of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Spotify is the mobile app only. You can leave a star rating there. Apple Podcasts is certainly the best place to do it. Now, we did get a recent review from none other than Isaac from the Infinity Bros.
Ooh,
And he gave us 5 stars. Yeah, he gave us 5 stars, and he said that we have incredible guests on the show. So,
did he do it on the episode he was on?
he did after the episode that he was on. So, yeah. So, Isaac, we will keep up the incredible guests. All right. Test Your Might, our weekly video game debate show, is still going strong with a new episode this past week. So go ahead and check that out. And we will also be getting a brand new episode for the Best of Batman series out, if it is not already out, as you're listening to this on The Dark Knight. And then following The Dark Knight, we'll be re-reviewing the Batman from last year. So that is our housekeeping for today. Gentlemen, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Yeah, Joe, don't crucify me, okay? Calm down.
Not yet. We'll see.
All right. This was
It would be petrify.
Yeah.
Crucify.
This was directed by none other than Chris Columbus. Joe, as you will tell us several times, it is based on Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the book. Starring the usual cast of characters, and then John Williams comes back for the score. This did release in November of 2002. It had a budget of $100 million, and it brought back $879.8 million. Harry Potter was still,
good, I guess.
Still in several cases, is a huge juggernaut. So really the only difference that is going to change here would be that of, if I could find his name, I can't see it, but whoever played Professor Lockhart is new to this movie. Otherwise it is...
Gilderoy Lockhart.
Yeah, otherwise it is the same cast of characters. So, Justin, I'm going to start with... Jason Isaacs?
No, that's okay. Malfoy. That's Lucius Malfoy.
Lucius Malfoy. You're right.
Oh, yeah. Lucius Malfoy does join the fold here as well. Okay. Justin, I'm going to go your way first. I want to know your spoiler-free review.
This is a movie with magic. Based on a book, also having and containing magic. If you like the first movie or the book, this one throws that one out of the park. Or throws this one out of the park. It throws this out of the park comparatively to that one. And there are lots of laughs if you're fans of the characters throughout this film, which I will mention in the spoiler section. But I preferred this one. And I hate snakes.
Okay, yeah, a little tough of a movie to be watching with snakes and spiders if you hate those two things. So, Joe, patent pending spoiler for your review, please.
I really, really am a fan of these books. The best thing I can say is that this movie does a good job keeping to the book. It is not perfect. However, they do good enough to still be a very enjoyable film.
Okay.
There's some missing stuff for sure.
They changed some stuff. They left out a couple things, but for the most part, they did a good job. And credit where credit is due. It's hard to take a book that does a good job and turn it into a movie. They need more time, and not everyone's going to sit down for a 6-hour film. I would, but hey, I'm not everybody.
Well, yeah, this is only 3 hours, just under. So no 6 hours here, but
It's like 240. Pretty good.
yeah. To me, I think this is I think this is one of the more underrated movies of the series. I think it has a pretty tight story. I think it has some good character development, especially between the three main characters, Harry, Hermione, and Ron. But also just I really enjoy just the establishing of Harry and Ron and Hermione as the sort of heroes. And this really, yeah, the first book, the first movie had sort of that, starting out with, but like this, there were teachers taken out of the story, taken out of the plot. Professor Dumbledore himself was taken out of the plot in a way. And it was really up to Harry and Ron at one point to save the day. So it really comes down to just the establishment of these characters as the heroes of the story. That's what makes this a really, really solid movie for me. So I did enjoy The Chamber of Secrets. So let's get into some spoiler territory. So if you have not seen Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, I'm surprised you're listening to this if you haven't, but please stop. Consider this your official spoiler warning. Hey, you.
What the?
What are you doing?
Who, me?
Do you want to be spoiled? No? Well then.
Stop it. Get some help.
So you don't feel like this guy. Instead, let it be a surprise.
Oh, I like surprises.
So go watch the thing before you move on in the podcast, okay?
Alrighty then.
All right, that was your official spoiler warning. Guys, let's get into some stuff here. So, some favorite moments from the movie. We're going to start with Justin. Justin, hit us up with some favorite moments.
Anything with Dobby is great. Really, the whole opening scene where Dobby is kind of causing problems in the house and trying to make sure Harry doesn't go to school. Pretty awesome, especially when he comes back later on and in the series. But as for favorite moments, anything with Ron Weasley in this movie, I am in love with. He is terribly afraid of spiders. He's terribly afraid of a giant tree that moves. And some of the scenes regarding both of those two things are by far my favorite. The scared faces he makes, the broken wand in the car. It's excellent comedy entangled and entwined with the action. And that's why I love it so much, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Piggybacking on that,
yeah, Ron is really
totally
good.
wins this movie. Yeah,
Ron wins
he win. Yeah, absolutely. He's the best part of this film, hands down. Like, without him to be that little, laugh track, the comedic relief in those moments, I don't think this movie does as good. He, in every moment where you needed it, provided the right face, the right tone, and just that little bit of levity to bring you out of whatever the situation was, whether it was, acromantulas or giant serpents or whatever. I mean, their best friend getting turned to stone, essentially, petrified. Like, he was always right there to lend that little bit that you needed to kind of pull you out of the funk, that downward spiral that you're going to go on. So I think he wins this movie.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'll piggyback on that too as well. I think that I think there's other more high notes for me, but I do think that Ron's like that his ability to have those facial expressions during certain scenes is just top notch. Really, like even as a child actor at this point, Rupert Grint, like he was doing really good work with his facial expressions, and especially during the spider scenes, right? The man, the spider scene is probably one of my favorite moments, just because of the I mean, they're acting against like a CG thing, right? They're acting against, nothing's there, right? And they're doing just a really, really good job reacting to Aragog, the spider, and just some really, really cool stuff. I love that whole scene where they're in the invisibility cloak in Hagrid's hut, and the Ministry, Cornelius Fudge, comes, and Hagrid is going to be taken to Azkaban, and he's, they're like, both Dumbledore and Hagrid just hint, like Dumbledore wasn't even there, but he knows that they're there, which is really cool too. And just hints at like, hey, follow the spiders, all that. And then Dumbledore gives Harry the hint to like, hey, ask for help when you need it and it will arrive, that sort of thing. So really, really cool scene there. I think that's one of my favorite scenes. Justin, swinging back to you.
The whole polyjuice potion scene, where they turn into Crabbe and Goyle, and Hermione turns into Cats the musical, non-musical version. Awesome.
Arguably better done than Cats.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, Harry and Ron turn into Crabbe and Goyle and infiltrate the Slytherin house to talk and kind of investigate Draco Malfoy's knowings. And they have to play the role of Crabbe and Goyle, and it's hilarious to hear them bicker back and forth, changing their voices. Harry forgets to take his glasses off, and Draco's like, "I was reading," and Draco says, "You know how to read?" Like,
yeah.
And then shortly after that, like, Ron's hair starts to turn red, and you actually see it change on screen as it happens. It was great, really well done. And of course, Hermione turning into a cat on accident is priceless.
Yeah. And coming to that was, this is 2002, and I thought the hair changing and like the scar coming and like all that stuff changing back into Ron and Harry was all done pretty well. Like the hair changing back to red, like it did work, effects wise. That's just an incredibly funny scene. Where Hermione is just so happy that she has made this polyjuice potion. It's a very hard potion to create. And then she can't even join in the festivities because she grabbed some cat hair. And again, another cool, it looked practical to me instead of CG. I could be wrong though.
I think most of it was
cat costume.
Practical. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But it looked really good. So I agree with you, Justin. The polyjuice stuff was really, really fun. Even like Harry's reaction, like earlier in the film when he's like so disappointed that it's going to take a month for her to brew this potion and stuff like that. Yeah. It's all good stuff. Joe, another favorite moment.
When Harry's arm gets deboned. I thought it was so good. It was perfect for me, right? I'm comparing everything to the book always. I just can't separate the two. Just done perfectly. They did such a good job giving him that rubber limp noodle thing, and him just like looking down at it in disbelief and kind of horror. And then it just like, folds in on itself. You're like, oh gosh.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
There's no bones left.
But they're not broken. And then immediately following go to the hospital wing, and Madame Pomfrey's like, I can mend bones in an instant, but regrowing them is painful and miserable, and now you're gonna suffer. And it's like, all for him not wanting it done in the first place. It's the no good deed goes unpunished. He's like, no, please don't. And Lockhart, being Lockhart, has to, show that he knows things. I've got this. Don't worry. Reparo, whatever. It's not what he said. But no bones. And then poor Harry just suffering, having all of his bones regrown in his arm. Yeah, overnight.
Which is
And
so.
the Dobby scene.
Yeah, another Dobby scene is Justin likes as well. Yeah, Dobby's really cool. But yeah, just even
Creepy.
even
and cool.
Radcliffe's like acting in that moment, just like his huge hesitancy to even allow Lockhart near him was just the best. So I'm gonna piggyback on that as well. Like, I love every single scene that Lockhart is in because of the fool that he makes himself out to be. Like, it is just, it's so funny to me watching those scenes. It's slightly cringy, but it's also incredibly funny. Like, during that duel, you're rooting for Snape to just destroy him because he's just an absolute idiot. And like even closer to the end of the movie, like the fact that Ron and Harry are more intimidating than him, like it just all works for me. Just like the comedy and just I love Lockhart's character in this because I love how terrible he is. It's just that's just how it is. Really
Credit to the actor for pulling it off, because
Yeah.
in the book he is supposed to be everything that he is portrayed in the film, and he does such a good job being Gilderoy Lockhart, being that smarmy idiot who just smiles vapidly. Ha ha ha! I know all the things. Ha ha ha! And you're like, oh, I hate him.
Yeah. Oh.
And it takes a good actor to pull that off.
Justin, you had some?
No, I'm looking at a lot of these stats and stuff, and I'm like, the trivia and everything, and I'm like, I'm amazed at what's in here that I didn't know about. I'm just excited. I'm excited.
All right.
But you know what's not in here? How about we say what we missed from the book, like what wasn't added to the movie? We don't really do that. For myself, I read the book as a child, and I was excited to see the ghost party, where all the ghosts were having a party, like a get together.
Yeah, Nick's
the
death
book.
day party.
And it's just nowhere to be seen, because I enjoyed Nearly Headless Nick from the original, and I enjoyed the look of them, and I thought it was going to be awesome to see the ghosts actually having fun for once. And no.
So I read the book very young, so I really don't remember it, to be honest. But I personally like just the film's pace. So like even thinking about adding some of the things from the book that are missing, like I don't know how it would do for me. But Joe, you're a book resident expert, at least for Harry Potter.
Yep, I'm gonna hard disagree on what you said there. So there are things in this which would have lent to a better paced film, in my opinion, and that's going based on the book, obviously. So when they start off in the story, there's things that happen. Hermione fixes glasses outside of school grounds, which is an offense. That's exactly what Harry gets in trouble for. Shouldn't happen. There is, when they get to Hogwarts, the person who's supposed to find them is supposed to be Snape. And that interaction between Ron, Harry, and Snape is gold in the book. And instead, like, we have this scene where they're walking their own stuff up into the castle and they run into Filch, the caretaker. And then you get a scene with Snape, but it's not the same feel as what it should be, or what is done in the book. And then later you have a speech given by McGonagall that should have been given by somebody else, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, it should have been done by Professor Binns, the history teacher, but the history of magic isn't even in this movie. So you don't even have that scene where Professor Binns is going through the history of the Chamber of Secrets, and he's like, it's not even real. Like, it's all legend. And Hermione's like, well, most legends are based on, some sort of fact. And Binns is, he's a ghost who's been around for hundreds of years, and he's just waving off like stupid, dumb kids. Well, stop it.
Yeah, but that doesn't, none of your points change the pace of the movie. It just changes a character.
It changed because it should have been someone else, and had that other person been the one doing it, I think it would have worked much better.
And I don't know about that.
Which is why I hard disagree with you.
You're tossing apples and oranges. You're just changing characters.
Yeah, but I want
tiebreaker in
meat
this.
and potatoes.
I'll be the tiebreaker. Do we get ghost parties in in Joe's version?
Absolutely.
All right, Joe wins.
My version is the book.
Yeah, your version is a 4-hour movie.
Six easy.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I will disagree that your arguments there don't change the pace of it. It's literally those scenes are in the movie. They just change the characters. So
they change the characters, but the way that they're presented in the book is different than how they did it in the movie. So had they done it the way they did in the book, the pacing would change and it would be better paced because it would match more what I think is right. It's the correct pace because it's the book.
It's matching what is right, but doesn't change the pace. Okay. Anyway,
well, just like we question things, let's get into trivia where we question everything about the movie.
Oh, first of all, I am host, and we are not to trivia yet, so bear with me a moment, please. Okay. Overall plot of the movie. Obviously, like some of the like I said already, that the heroicness of these three characters sort of starts to shine here, and their ability to like figure out problems and solve them for themselves, really good. Obviously we get the polyjuice potion and stuff like that, but also like getting to the end of the movie and going through it, we see sort of the true like relationship and the true angle of Voldemort to Harry Potter. And so Justin, Tom Riddle is very prevalent in this movie. What did you think of him?
I liked him. I really enjoyed the journal and how it showed like a flashback, and it kind of pulled Harry into it, and it looked great doing so. And the colors were dark and it was dim, and you kind of were there with Tom Riddle when he was going to Hogwarts. And I really enjoyed that. And then, of course, towards the end with the climax, his character had that, I'm not going to say curiosity, but he had that like impending gloom, kind of like that power as he walked around, as he was presented. He had that kind of stature of Voldemort, even though he wasn't what we pictured Voldemort being.
He still had a nose, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. What's funny is that I'm in the process of reading Half-Blood Prince, and obviously during Half-Blood Prince they go through a lot of memories, and they see young Voldemort. And what I think they do really well in this movie is Tom Riddle, as he's depicted in the books, he looks the part in the movie, which I thought was really good. He's a handsome young dude. He's very charming and stuff like that. Always knows how to get out of certain situations. If there's anything to me that is missing from the book, is probably the explanation of how Voldemort through a memory can get back, can take the life out of Ginny Weasley, and become his young self again. Is that explained in the book, Joe? Because I don't think it's really well explained in the movie.
In the very end of the book, you get an explanation on it, but not a satisfactory one. You don't get a satisfactory one until the 6th book, when they're talking, when you're learning about Horcruxes, and you understand more of why the diary held that power. And it wasn't simply because he's too young, right? Harry asks again for the second time, because in the first book and movie he says, why did Voldemort choose me? Why did he come after me? And in this one you say, why was he targeting me? And you don't get a satisfactory explanation because he's too young. So in the books and in the movie you get a half answer, and it's, he had this so that one day the chamber would be opened again. But you don't learn, it's because a piece of his soul was attached, and it could literally take over the person who poured it too much into it.
And I think that
was good, but not good enough.
I think that could have been something that would have changed the dynamic of this movie a little bit, is just a little bit more explanation, because I think the movie is a little different than the book. Obviously, you're going on this journey to get to book 6, but in a movie, like, you can, huh?
Book 7?
No,
or just
book 6 when you figure out why this thing is.
Gotcha.
I think in a movie, if you add a little bit more to that, it sort of helps the explanation in the movie going experience. So
yes.
the fight against the basilisk. First of all, the Chamber of Secrets is awesome. I think the setting, the statues, the sort of ambiance of what it is, I thought it was really cool. And just to see the presence of Tom Riddle there, Lord Voldemort, is really, really cool. But also the fight against the basilisk, like I think that was pretty well done. Justin is shaking his head.
No, I got better things to do. I don't want to talk about Snake. I hate snakes so much. The fact that you put your hand inside of a snake and get a fang in your arm. No, not for me. Well done visually. Terrifying for me. Sorry. I'm like Indiana Jones. Snakes and me do not mix. Sorry about that.
I'm not adverse to snakes. I really enjoyed that scene. I think they did a good job. I love the Chamber of Secrets. I think that the set that they built for that obviously took an entire warehouse. It was huge, but beautifully done, matched the book very well.
Yeah.
Something that I think is obviously important. And yeah, I think well done on them. I loved them getting down into the chamber, taking the slide down, the slippery little slide through the tunnels, the whole scene with
Remind me of the
Lockhart
Goonies.
again.
I can get that. I can get that. Yeah.
And then yeah, the entire Tom Riddle kind of experience down there. You get that young, handsome, good-looking, can talk his way through anything interaction, and then he sets a giant snake on him. To which help will always be given to those in need.
Yeah.
Fox comes out of nowhere. We get a
Sorting hat.
sword. Yeah, sorting hat, and he pulls a sword out of a sorting hat. Not just any sword,
Mary
though.
Poppins
Godric
sorting hat.
Gryffindor sword. Mary
Yeah.
Poppins. Yeah, I like that. And then it's Goblin Maid, which we don't know in this one, but stabs the old basilisk, and because it takes a tooth in on the way out, has basilisk venom and uses its own venom to kill the snake.
Awesome.
Not that they explain that in the book
they don't.
or the movie, but otherwise, just a little poke like that's not going to kill a snake. So,
but yeah, and then he also, finally, he takes the basilisk tooth that was in him. He takes that and destroys the
Stabs the
diary.
book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stabs the book.
doesn't just
and yeah.
destroy it; he super murders that thing.
Yeah, super.
And it bleeds too. Like it bleeds a
ink.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also just the special effects of Tom Riddle just like evaporating away. Like
Floating?
it was really
Yeah.
good too.
Really
and
good
then-
50,000 too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
My final thing that I want to bring up is the plot device of Ron's broken wand was awesome. All the jokes that they had with it, like Harry like coming up when he needs to Wingardium Leviosa those cupcakes for Crab and Goyle, like, Ron, why don't you let me do it? And then Ron's just like, yeah, you're right. It's just perfect stuff. So, okay, Justin, I know you've been chomping at the bit. Let's get into trivia.
Yeah. So Tom Felton, the person who played Draco, I mentioned this earlier. He improvised the line that I mentioned earlier as well. The one where he saw Harry disguised as Goyle and he said, "I didn't know you could read." He forgot his line, so he improvised that.
Yeah, that's so good. That's one of the best comedic moments of the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So Shirley Henderson, the person who played Moaning Myrtle, the ghost in the bathroom, is the oldest actress. She was 37 at the time to portray a Hogwarts student. Yeah. That's
yeah.
pretty old.
You could tell she was older. She had those widow's peaks and stuff like that. Crow's feet.
Crow's
I just thought she got it
Yeah,
from
that's
like the
what-
ghost
Widow's peak is
animation or
crow's feet.
something, but it's not.
No.
Widow's Peak is the hair, the old Dragulia hair.
Well, she had that.
You
too.
could use my toilet. So I've got two based around the car that the Weasleys had, the
Ford Anglia.
Anglia, yeah. So
When I
this
was
is
young,
the same.
I called it the Angela, and that wasn't right.
It looks like it.
Fun fact: the Ford Angela.
Another trivia fact in the middle. So Joe, I don't know if you knew this, but the color and model of the car is the same one J.K. Rowling used when she drove her and her friend to school almost every day when they were younger.
I did not know that, but I do like the powder blue.
Yeah, she used it for the book
Solid.
and then later for the movie, just because of the memories that she had with it. And
I
then,
applaud that choice.
Hopefully these cars are the only thing to crash here. 14 of the Ford Anglias were destroyed in creating the scene where Harry and Ron crashed into the Whomping Willow, the tree scene. 14 just in that scene
Such
alone.
a waste of cars.
I feel like you could have done it in fewer. Like,
Well, they probably
again.
We're not filmmakers, but
like the branches going through at different angles. They probably wanted to get it just right, and that's a lot of damage for like the one that goes right through the middle of the car.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Pretty brutal.
leaves
Okay,
the
so this
hole
is
punch in the window back there.
this is great. The animatronic Phoenix, right?
Fox, yep.
That they used to portray Fox looked so lifelike, despite the fact that Phoenixes are mythical creatures, that Richard
Maybe.
Harris, Professor
No proof.
Dumbledore, thought it was a real living bird when he first saw it. He thought it was real, despite
Also,
them being
he was kind of old.
Yeah, I mean, his eyesight ain't what it used to be at that point.
like, oh, it's a real bird.
The beautiful tropical bird here, orange and gold and red, vibrant. What is that? A parrot?
Well, that's most of them. I wanted to end on a happy one. That's pretty funny.
That is good.
Trivia. I can't believe 14
Okay.
cars.
Yeah,
That's a
14
lot.
cars. That's ridiculous. Okay.
I want one of them.
Time for
Just the
our
damage?
rankings. Time for our ratings. Joe, out of 5, what would you give Chamber of Secrets? Remember, listeners, 5 is amazing, 4 is great, 3 is good, 2 is okay, and 1 is bad.
It gets a solid 3 from me. It's a good film.
Okay, yeah. And
I'm not going to go
Justin?
higher.
This will probably be the only and ever film that has snakes in it that I will give this rating. And this is a 5 for me. I enjoyed this
Ooh.
a lot.
There you
even
go.
despite the
That's high
snakes,
praise.
this is a 5 for me. This is one of my favorites of the series. Polyjuice, all of the action we didn't even talk about it, but the Quidditch match with Draco versus Harry is
Oh, yeah.
excellent.
Right.
I loved it all. And like I said, probably the only movie I'll ever put a 5 that has snakes in it. So there you go. From the documentary.
Until we review Snakes on a Plane.
Not happening. Not happening.
We need to watch the TV version.
Actually, I do have another movie that's a 5 on my list that has a snake in,
Indy.
which is going to go into my favorite lists. So
Ooh, we're going to talk
Okay.
about it.
yeah.
What is it?
So yeah, I think I'm at a 4 on this one. I think it is great. I think that there's stronger outings within the series, which is why this is just a great for me. But also, I thought upon rewatching that this one is sort of underrated. I think it is a very, very solid movie. I think personally, we've already said it, I think it's well paced. I think that the story beats are really, really good in this. I thought the acting was great. We also didn't talk about it, but I think Professor Snape is awesome in this movie.
Alan Rickman, unbeatable.
Yeah. So I really, really, really enjoy just everything about this movie. It's a great for me. So now, does this beat out your Sorcerer's Stone ranking? So again, we are ranking the movies as well. So right now, as of this recording, all of our lists go Sorcerer's Stone and nothing else, because this is our second podcast. So does this dethrone Sorcerer's Stone for you, Joe?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
No
Justin, same thing?
Flying colors.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
a phoenix.
All right, so that is 3 for 3. Chamber of Secrets takes the top spot of our rankings, so certainly stay tuned for all of these episodes to find out our final rankings of all the Harry Potter movies. So that has been our review of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Again, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening to my voice right now, head on over to YouTube. Leave us a comment and let us know what you think of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And follow us at Twitter at WhatTheFunPod. And again, if you're listening on audio, you could find us at YouTube at that same at WhatTheFunPod and subscribe there. We would really appreciate it. Please finally leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Mobile. And without further ado, my name is Mike. That's Joe. That is Justin. This has been our review of Chamber of Secrets. What the Fun Show. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Dobby has clothes.